Yo guys, how you doing? We're back again with Belisarius Cawl, the master of machines. Des, thank you very much for that host. Timmy Sprues, subscribed for 10 months, says bring on a year. Epic stuff, dude. Nearly there. In the chat so far tonight, we got MCG Jaeger, who's absolutely saying no to Stella. Hack! Getting their sub on 2 months now. Good evening. Thank you very much for that sub. Much appreciated, brother. Who also got Nick McDade, who's saying that you should try Stella. You should not try Stella. Ever. Timmy Sprues, cheers for that host. Exploding Fruit. Tim Paint Stuff. Gumbalina Main Unit. How you folks all doing tonight? Hope you've had a productive day. I've had a great day. I've had a really good day. I've had a mostly good day. We'll temper it ever so slightly in case it all goes wrong. But we managed to do all of our editing that we need to do. Done and dusted by just gone 5. So getting a little bit quicker at that. That included lots of pissing about with Photoshop. For this week's YouTube video, you see we've also got these. There you go. Special point YouTube. This week's YouTube video, which I'm super excited about, is this right here. How to paint anime robot faces. Because why not? Oh, God. I'll tell you what, this was so much fun to do. Painting these guys' faces was amazing. One of my favourite things that I've done this week. One of my favourite bits on any commission, in fact, was going ham with Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs over here. So, very, very cool. So that's going up tomorrow at 10 a.m. We've also got the chipping tutorial going up on Patreon for the weekly readers as well. So, there you go. We're going to kick off tonight with some blending. Big Hero 6. I didn't think about that, actually. But, so yeah, that I don't know why it was so much fun. I think it was because it's one of those completely silly things, right? It's absolute ridiculousness, so why not go for it? And yeah, big fan of that this week. Been waiting to show that off, and yeah, it's just a fun thing to do. It's not grimdark, not anymore. It's just complete ridiculous fun. Timmy Sprues, cheers for that host, Snake Pliskin. Good evening. And Exploding Fruit says, played my first game at 40k. It's AdMech, and man, they get a lot for cheap. They do. They are one of the best shooting armies in the game. They have a lot of stuff that is super expensive, and that's what tempers it a little bit. It's not all cheap stuff. Like, these robots are relatively expensive points-wise each. Things like the chicken walkers, super expensive. So yeah, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. I have my first furlough day tomorrow, so I actually get to try that Patreon bone tutorial. Damn, man. You been furloughed? Unlucky. It's my last day of work tomorrow. And I'd say last day of work. I work till about 10:45, so I'm going to finish my morning meeting, hopefully drive into the office, drop off the laptop, and I'm free! We are our own boss at that point. I can't wait. Played 3 games with Death Guard, and I'm moving away from Plague Marines, and I'm running Possessed. Possessed are strong. Very strong. 4 attacks apiece. It's fucking madness. It's time to put my stream back together. I'm back, baby. Been almost 2 months. First stream this year tomorrow. Fantastic, dude. What time? Tomorrow might be my last day of work. Tomorrow, depending on how much I piss my boss off in the morning. Brilliant. Brilliant, Danny. That sucks. Nick, you'd hate being furloughed because all that overtime would dry the fuck up. I was going to show you guys something else before you... Right, yes, we also bought more of these today. Our Series 7s. Not that you can read that one because that's the old one. We're going to abuse it with some blending now, but there you go. Got a couple more of these today, ready for when this one, in about 3 to 4 months, goes dead on me. We also, because Element Games have finally been sent some stock by GW, got more Necrons! Whew. Super excited about this guy. 6-shooter McGee. No, he's not going to have a cowboy hat at all. But, oh, yes. Finally, it's happened. Right. Blending. This is something that is pretty straightforward, but I know a lot of people have worries about it. So we're going to talk through it quickly, and then we'll get on with it. And while I'm talking through it, I just need a base coat down. Now, what blending really means is taking one color and another color and creating a smooth transition between them. That's it. There's no long convoluted explanation for that. Nick, do you not like Necrons? I thought you loved Necrons. Also, I hope you got my WhatsApp message, mate. I'm not worried about the standard of the work or anything. Slightly worried about you personally, because you're my buddy. But I know you're good. Right. Let's get the base coat down while we're talking about what blending is. Like I said, smooth transition from one color to another. That's all. So if the theory behind it is just get a smooth transition, what makes it so complicated? Well, really it's the smooth part. Getting a transition from one color to another is really easy. You can just lay them one next to the other and that's it, right? You're done. Except you're not done because you haven't got a transition. You've just got a change. And that's no good. It doesn't matter what you're painting unless what you're painting is something that's meant to have a stark line between one color and another, like those hazard stripes or some half and half marines or something along those sorts of lines. But for everything else, you need to have that smoothness. And the next question, I suppose, is how do you get that smoothness? Where does that come from? Now, there's loads of ways you can do it. And I'm not going to focus on a lot of them. We're just going to pick one and tell you how to do it this way. And the reason behind that is because while there are loads of ways to do it, some are easier than others. And whenever you're trying anything for the first time, having a reasonable metric of success, I feel is important. Definitely pre-ordering that new Necron this weekend. Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Definitely picking up one of those. It's time for some Mohawk action. Let me grab something to drink and backseat paint. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Go for it, Evolution. So yeah, when you're trying something for the first time, it's good to have a reasonable chance of success. Otherwise, it's difficult not to get discouraged or disheartened with things that you're doing and think, well, this isn't for me, I'm nowhere near good enough and so on. And so I'm going to show you the easy way to blend stuff. It's not wet blending. It's certainly not two-brush blending because that's just such a ridiculous way, I know you said something else there, of painting anything. So don't do that. It's sort of glazing, but it isn't really, because for any first-time painter that's trying to get a smooth blend on something, they'll take forever getting their glazes down. So it's just layering. That's it. Now, layering is a term that you could use for glazed layering. So glazing and layering can be the same thing. And the only difference between the two really is that we're not going to thin our paint to the point of a glaze. The Drunk Mystic, cheers for that host, bro. Much appreciated. What do I have to do on this guy? Oh yeah, it's calculator. Actually, that doesn't need to be blended so much as just highlighted, but... Young Assassin! Thank you very much for that sub, bro. Get some love in the stream for this guy. 2 months, that's a new badge. That is a new badge. So, we're going to do layering. And like I was saying, the differences between this and glazing is that we're not using a glaze. All a glaze is some very, very thin paint. Nothing crazy. Don't need special mediums or anything. Water is fine. But we're not going to do that. We're just going to thin our paint a little. And it's going to be all about the application of that paint. That's how we'll get our smooth transition. It's how you apply it. Not what you're applying, though that does matter. And it still has to be relatively thin. But creating nice thin glazes that are capable of getting coverage without splitting is something that I know a lot of people struggle with. So we're not going to go complicated. We're going to go real, real simple on this and get it done. Now we're putting a lot of bits on the Mini that are just plain red. Obviously this is a base coat for a glaze, for a blend that's coming on in a minute. But why are we painting all of these bits red? Anyone know? Anyone tell me? Probably have had to be someone that watched the last stream for this one. Diligent crawl, fighting in battles and doing taxes on a calculator. Absolutely. Phew. Oh. Blimey. Going on Necron this weekend. Good. My Amazing Pony, what up? How's it going? Oh, that's a point. We need a meeps command for this bit, I think. Right, on here, what do we need to do? We need to do this section. And we're doing all of this before... Oh, there's another sneeze coming. What is going on? Clearly allergic to Betasaurus Call. It's the mechadendrites, clearly. Get to you. All good, bro. I'm good. I'm good too, man. I've had a decent day. Saying earlier on, we've got all our editing done well in time, which gave me time to have a bit of a chill. Did a little bit of painting, not a lot, just a little bit more on our Nogo boy, blending in some more skin tones. He is a horrible puce green now. Horrible puce green. So next thing on him is just getting some bone done. He's what I paint when I just want to paint something and don't really care what. Had a bit of a play around on Battlescribe, looking at some Death Watch lists, and then had a look on Element Games to see what that would cost. About what you'd expect for a full Marine army is basically where we're at with that. So it's a decent whack of cash, but you know. Oh, sorry. Might put mine towards an ayahuasca compressor. Oh, Shotman is fine, but hose won't reach into my hobby room, so no, I haven't looking at house. Hell no. I could definitely recommend that ayahuasca compressor. Any tips on reposing Necrons? Des is correct. You know, there's an infinite number of different base rotations. As long as you don't rotate the base itself, just rotate the mini. Price only competitive admech list will make you cry. Mate, trust me. I have helped people out with that in the past. I am well aware. But this is what happens when you want to pick up 40 Cataphren destroyers. So, how many points are you talking? 2k. I only play 2,000 points because that's the competitive game size. That's it. And that's the only reason for it as well, is because that's the competitive game size. Right, I think part of his axe red, and the reason I think part of his axe red is to break up all the gold that's going to appear. Mad Goat 06, thank you very much for that sub. Prime sub going in there. Absolute superstar. You are now eligible for the mystery box / pick a minion have it painted by me contest at the end of the month. And you'll have had 3,000 meeps deposited into your stream account. So exclamation point win for some information on how to spend those. Won't have long to wait. Sunday is giveaway day. Oh. All the best giveaway streams have been Sundays for me. Sunday giveaway streams are just epic. I don't know why. But, something about... And for the first time ever, after doing the Sunday giveaway stream, I won't have to go into the office on Monday. Oh yeah. No more office forever. After 10:15 tomorrow morning. Happy days. Happy days. It's going to need 2 coats because that silver is absolutely blowing us out. But I did ask earlier on, can anyone tell me why we're doing even more red on this guy? I didn't see any answers. Has anyone got any guesses as to why that might be the case? Pipe up. Wrong answers don't get punished by death or anything. There's no ridicule here. Well, there's some ridicule here. I'm not going to entirely lie about that one. Hey, Richard Chat says, your chat question, why you're basing it red. Hey, I'm still waiting for answers from you guys. Base for brown? No. Red ones go faster? True, but not the exact reason. Oh, Gumbalina, that's terrible, but I'll allow it. It's one time, I'll allow it. So, I'm guessing nobody knows, or if they do know, they keep it to themselves, hiding that knowledge and hoarding it. When we looked at Games Workshop's mini, the one that the Heavy Metal team painted, can anyone remember anything that stood out particularly about the model and the way that they painted it? It's tournament ready. Too much silver. Absolutely right, Jaeger. What else, though? Wasn't just that it was too much silver. Benkelson! Oh, he's back. How you doing, bro? 11 months. One more. And it's the year. One more to go, bro. Can anyone else remember anything that stood out about GW's one other than all the silver? Lots of colours on the cables. Lots of colours overall. And what that meant was you ended up with a miniature that looked very confused. It was hard to zero in on any one particular thing. There was no real guide to a focal point or anything like that. It was just very much a case of, here he is, look at him, he's a monster. Of course, a bling guy just needs more gold, less silver. I mean, you're nearly there, man. But that's the thing, very busy. Exactly, Gumbalina. Very, very busy. So what we're doing is we're constricting our color palette. We're making sure that we're not going to have the same issues that they had, where you've got all these things that you can't really see. I've just realized that we missed one of his cables. And so by taking away a lot of the colours that they have added to their miniature and not putting them on this one, it's not lazy painting. God, I actually missed quite a bit on it. Maybe I was doing some lazy painting. Oh no, I didn't do that one on purpose, but I think I should. It just looks weird without a bit being black. Because we're taking away some of those choices and we're having something that's a little bit more focused on a smaller palette size, we'll have something that by the end of it just looks a little neater, and the areas that we do want to stand out, such as things like the solar atomizer and so on, will stand out. Too loud. There you go, Gumballina, you're absolutely on the money today. Loving it. So this is why sometimes it's not a bad thing to restrict your color palette, as long as there's a reason for it. Sometimes it's completely fine to do a mini that's basically monochrome. It doesn't have to be black and white. It could be shades of green all over, shades of red all over, or blue, or whatever other color you want. But having that restrictive color palette can really, really help you out. Oakley dokley. So we've base coated it. To be fair, this one needs another one. The silver, once again, proving very, very strong and hard to get that coverage. So we'll have a quick look to be sure that nothing else needs a bit more love. Fuck it, let's just get another coat down on everything. I won't take anything like as long this time, because just going over the top of the red. Check his calculator out. Little spot at the side there, didn't quite get enough on there. Payment keys. Boom. Check the axis. Oh, that's alright, that's okay. Yeah, that's fine. You forgot Nolan Oil. No, he didn't. 0win126, thank you for the follow. That is bringing us very, very close now to 3,000 followers. Very close. I think we might only be... I think we're less than 10 away, put it that way. Eight to go. 7 to go. The source painting. Thank you very much for that follow. Cheers, brother. Ooh. So good. So good. Right. Oh, hang on. Cedric Zek. Thank you for the follow. I wonder if there's some sort of giveaway plan for 3,000 followers. I don't think there is, but maybe there is. There isn't. Just throwing that out there. Right, so how are we going to create this blend? Earlier on we talked about a blend. We said we weren't going to do glazes, we were going to do layers, but not glazed layers. But it's very simple. We're just going to take some paint, we're just going to thin it with water, but just to the point that's more than we would normally do it. So let me show you the difference. If we grab the palette and bring it over here, let's just grab a bit of red, drop that there, take a massive brush full of water, and thin that out. Okay, that's not a glaze yet. That's a glaze. So this consistency down here, look at the way it moves. Look at how much the brush can pick up. This isn't a glaze. This is slightly too thick. Look at the way that moves. It's very different to this. And look at the way it sits around and then coalesces. This kind of gets to a place and then takes a longer time to shrink up. Okay? So this is a glaze. This is what we don't want today. Give away a slightly used Monument Hobbies brush. Yeah, one not so careful owner. So we're going to thin our paint. Not to a glaze, but to something short of that. And then, very simply, without too much paint on the brush, we're just going to brush in the direction that we want our highlight to be on. Don't want to give the Viking actual DNA on it. That's a good point. As soon as human cloning becomes a thing, I'm guessing he's all aboard the Mohawk train. So we want shadow down here, because the arm is going to go on sort of like this. So we're going to have our shadow down here. We've got a nice couple of recesses there as well. We've got those little vents, so that's going to be really good for that. We want the bright point right up here, and then we won't try and leave a little area around there, but we'll come back in and just darken down that part. How's like the PA paints? I saw you dabbling them on the gram. I really like the colours. I really like the pigments. I absolutely hate with a fiery passion the bottles. They're the... No, they're the devil. Did not like those at all. So here's what we're doing. See what's going on? We're taking our brush and we're brushing a very thin coat, but not a glaze, of that paint. And we're always working in the same direction. So we're working from down there all the way up to the top of this. And then again around there. Now, we're not worried too much about the mess that's going on. There's a reason we're doing this before we start working all of the metals. The only reason I don't want to do a permanent palette cam is because it has to go somewhere on screen. It would replace this. And I feel that the gallery below us, is... Okay, it's quite good for me as an artist because, look, here's all the stuff I painted. Isn't that fantastic? But also we use this quite a lot for advertising people that have helped out the stream. People like Death Ray Designs, Strata Miniatures, Hellstorm, all that sort of thing. But also, we can use this, like this picture is great for showing somebody some oil weathering or some powders. That's a great picture for showing people how to just get an easy but quick custom base. How to paint yellow. You know, these sorts of things. So yeah, I've thought about it several times because I have a spare webcam right here that I'm doing nothing with. I don't know. It'd be a sort of thing I'd maybe turn it on every now and again, but I figure at that point, if I'm doing that, why not just move the palette onto the camera. Source painting, just a lid. Yeah, basically. The paint spooges everywhere. So it's the third coat of that we're doing. You'll notice we're not going down quite as far this time around. And normally, by the time you've got 3 coats of paint, this consistency on something, then you've got about the opacity you're going to get out of that paint. So pop that to one side and we'll work on the next bit. Now this, it's all upside down. So this goes on the model like that, and there's very little of this that's going to get much light at all, as you can see. And so all we're going to do is work towards the leading edge, which will be the front. So I'm going to brush this way now to get some of that paint on. I know I'm brand new, but as an option, you could add a palette cam to the rotation of things in that space. I could, you're right. So, eat you! Subscriber Prime, subscribed for 7 months, currently on a 5-month streak. In fact, 7 months, but a small day gap in between that don't count. Absolutely right, dude. 7 months in our hearts. Ichu, latest member of the Patreon as well. Absolute superstar. Thank you very much, bro. The biggest issue for me with having a palette cam is having to have the palette in the same place all the time. And I mean exactly the same place. And well lit. And that's because I then need another boot to have a camera directly above it, because there's no point in having it at an angle because you wouldn't see what's going on. And I've already got a desk that looks like Dr. Octopus, alright? I've got an arm right here with a light on. That sits directly below the microphone that is just there. that's right next to the top-down camera, that's right next to another light panel. We've got 2 monitors on the desk. We've got all of the things floating around for the airbrush, for the painting, things like flow improver always on deck. I mean, this might be the most important thing on the desk. And so there's lots of things I've already got poking out around here. It's definitely something that's possible, but I'm not suggesting something that's probable. Apple juice. It's mixed fruit today. Mixed fruit. There's some cherries in there. The well-used paint water is the most important. Oh, damn, that's what I was drinking. Flow improver is the nectar of the gods. Flow improver is currency come the apocalypse. We're not quite at the point yet where flow improver and army painted dark tone can be used as a barter system, but I feel we're not far off. For those of you that haven't seen the news in the UK, we're probably looking at a lockdown that will stretch on through till the 8th of March. For those of you outside the UK, I hope you have got your country under control a little bit. Literally bought a litre when we locked down the States last spring. I didn't go that far because we all thought lockdown was going to be 2 months. But I bought flow improver and I bought a fuckload of paint. And that was the absolute first thing that I did when lockdown was announced. Like, I need all these things. This is not up for debate at all. I have to have these. As a commission painter, you can't afford to be out of certain things. Unfortunately, we've had enough supply all the way through that's not been an issue for me. But I did run out of black paint early. Had to buy some Vallejo black paint instead of using my Thramar black. I didn't like it at all. So now we've got all the black paint. You know. It's definitely up there with toilet roll for value. Yep. Here they open the restaurant at 30% capacity. I feel they'll close them back in about a week. Damn. Whereabouts are you, Polly, if you don't mind me asking? Right, here we want a bright point out towards the blades, like both sides. So darker in the middle, brighter towards the outside. So, as before, we take the brush from the inside and we draw paint towards the outside all the way around. And notice that the only bit we're missing, that we're not putting paint on, is that bit right tucked in against the skull and AdMech symbol. Boom. So this is easy. This isn't technically difficult at all. We've still got 2 more highlights to do, bare minimum, and then an edge highlight that we'll probably have to put on as well. But certainly for now, this is super simple. Anyone can do this. None of this is hard. So same here, drawing from the inside towards the outside. And you see we're trying to leave a little bit of a gap now amongst these little like power nodes. You'll also note that I don't care at all that we're painting over these little key things. 0 F's given on that one. We'll paint them back over silver or gold or whatever we might do it. Romania, okay. Hey, at least you guys can go out to a restaurant. Here we've got nothing like that. I feel that's the correct decision because we need to do something about this virus. We've the majority of people in this country are fuckwits. So as a result, don't wear things like masks and stuff and go out without needing to and so on. But oi. Just oi. Right, last bit of blending for this coat of paint. Here's the face mask for Cawl. We want the bright point to be this area here, just in the center. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our highlights from two different directions. So we're going to go on this side from here upwards. And then from this side from here upwards. There you go. Now as this dries and becomes opaque, and as you get more and more coats on it, we'll end up with something that's a little bit more powerful. But once you've got that coat down, it's time to start building that highlight up. So we're going to take some more red, I'm going to take some more yellow, or just some yellow. It's weird. I'm going to mix just a nice bright reddy orange. So we're not looking to go into orange just yet at all. That'll be the last coat. We want something just a little bit more bright and powerful. So here's what we've gone for. We get even more red mixed in there, and it takes some water. Thin that out. I have a random thing to ask at this moment of time. What is that bolt thingamabob in the gap at the back of your bolt thingamabob? Like this bit, because that nut holds the needle in place, so when you pull the trigger and you move that, the spring compresses and this bit that's holding onto the needle moves the needle. It might be you've got something here right at the very back you can turn. If so, that's normally like a backstop. So your trigger, which this part of it right here, there'll be something that stops it from moving back. So maybe this is as far as you can pull it. And it might be that because of that, every time you put down some air, that's as far as you get on your airbrush. And I know a lot of people that use that as a like a safety. Like they know they only want to put down so much pressure and so much paint. But to me, that doesn't help you learn the control that you need. And control is important with the airbrush. I hope I've demonstrated that enough over the last couple of years. But having the full range on that is important. It helps you clear blockages and so on. So I personally wouldn't suggest using it, but if you're having difficulties and it's stressing you out a little bit, then maybe that's a way forward. Can't relate. People in Sweden think they are immortal just because they think being a Swede makes you immune. Nice. Real nice. Drippins, what up, dude? Alright, so let's grab some of this. Let's load our brush up. Don't overload it at all. And then this time, instead of starting all the way down here, where we were before, we're going to start here. And do exactly the same thing. And we're just doing those brush strokes all in the same direction. All the way up to the top there. And then just here, because I want a little bit of this highlight, we're just going to put a little bit right there on the side. So we'll let that do 2 or 3 passes. And so let's move through everything else. We can batch paint our little blend here that we've got going on. With this, remember, we're drawing everything towards the front. So again, brush strokes all in the same direction. The calculator is a little bit different because we're just doing more of a layered series of highlights rather than a blend on this because it's so small. Very boxy. There we go. The axe. Pro Jam, no worries, dude. Which water is yours again? It's the Iwata Eclipse HPCS airbrush. So same here. Obviously now we've got to be real small with this because we're going to stay inside the lines of our previous coat of paint. So See on here, you can see we're just going past those rivets. Everyone knows that all calculators go to robot heaven when they die. I mean, I think they just spend the rest of their life having like 58008 written on them. I think that's all calculators have to do when they pass on, you know. Here you can see we're going out a little bit further because what we've got to do is stay within a line of our previous highlight pass. Beeped. 133 from graphic error at the moment. That's a solid price. That is a solid price. In fact, Too Many Sprues, you could share him that link because he finally got his refund back from the Chinese or Japanese company he bought his airbrush from the other week. It was way into last year. It was like November or October he bought it. What paint is that today? We're using a mixture of Cador Red base that's had a little bit of Thramar Black put into it and then some Flash Gitz Yellow. And we're just showing everyone how to do some layered blending. Not to be confused with glazing. It's not quite the same. Won't give you quite the same smoothness, but it's super simple, which means anyone can do it, which means you should all give it a go. So here we're going to do a bit more towards the front, have a brighter point just there, and then thinner, as in the width of the, sort of the length of the brush stroke, thinner up here towards the back. Same here, so right down there towards the front, and then just shorten those brush strokes a bit as we move up here. Easy, super easy. Let's go back and do it all again. Second pass. There you go. Good luck on that airbrush this time, mate. Everyone I've ordered off eBay has arrived no issues whatsoever, which is annoying that you had issues with it, because other people I've suggested to order from there have not had a problem. So I'm really sorry, mate, that happened to you. I know I had nothing to do with it. It wasn't my fault and things, but it's still irritating. eBay had to actually get involved themselves, so I'm not surprised. But that sucks. Again, highlights towards the front. Boom. Super easy. Calculator corners again. Right out to the edge on the axe head. This time we're just going to cheat and paint around it like so, because that line is now so thin that a million little brush strokes that way isn't going to cut it. And I just realised my exposure is off because of taking photos earlier on today. There you go, that's better. October, there we go. Every time I use my airbrush, every time I want to reduce the spray by hardly pulling the trigger, it tends to clog and splatter. So the clogging might be... Okay, are you using full air and just a small amount of paint, or are you using a small amount of air and a small amount of paint? That's a weird one, but let's try and work it out. Again, stay within the lines that we did before. So, loads of short brush strokes. And then here at the ends, that's where we're going with a longer brush stroke to just nicely frame this section. Think of that a little bit like an edge highlight. In fact, there will be an edge highlight on there when we're done as well. Full air, low paint. So, are you using flow improver to thin your paint with? And if so, what sort of ratio are you using? Because all I can think of is that your paint is drying on the needle and you just need to clean that off. Flow improver helps that, but it is still a thing that happens. Flow improver normally judged by the look. Right, go 1-to-1 flow improver to paint. Measure it out, drop a bottle to your friend, you know, all these things. Super important. Now I gold airbrush. Well, primary models all day. That's pretty much killing it. Okay. I have to pull it all the way back before I get any paint, declean it twice. Then you've impacted paint in the nozzle. That's what it is. So, have you got one of those interdental brushes, the little ones for flossing with? Just like jam that in a needle and twirl it around. Jam it in a needle, jam it in a nozzle. Use a needle and carefully, jam it in there carefully. Just have a bit of a sort of feel inside the nozzle for some of that paint. What's full air? I have mine at 25 psi. Mine will store up to 45 psi in the hose. Want to flow improver paint? Okay, that might be the problem. But that's how I paint. So we use a lot of flow improver. But it stretches the paint out. It helps blend everything a little bit smoother. And we're just adding in a little bit more yellow to our mix now. So we're going towards a brighter orange. I'm going to thin this down. It's time for that last highlight. Is this too much for cleaning stuff? Let's see what you get in the kit. Do I own any of this stuff? What the fuck is that? Right. Other than lube, I literally own none of that. None of that whatsoever. Instead, I bought 30 interdental cleaning brushes for about £1. I bought some pipe cleaners, and not ones like that. I mean, ones like this. And I think I spent in total £8. You know, Darker Design, what up? MC, how you doing? Good to see you both here. And this goes on right on the very top. Don't want it to look orange, but that's our final highlight. So easy. Easy, easy, easy. We're going to go on with a wash and just hit some recesses to help pull that detail out again. And then that's blending red. Then it'll be time for some metallics. And a lot of metallics need to tidy up. I'm going to use the Vallejo Model Air Metallic. Metal color, not Model Air. I think on this. A super bright, shiny chrome finish. Doing okay. Finish up with granites. Yes. Awesome stuff, dude. I'd love to get mine done, but I have absolutely no drive to do them whatsoever. All about Deathwatch right now. yeah, I've got no interest in doing Grey Knights. I will admit, for the first time ever, it was I'm chasing the meta kind of thing, because I have a soft spot for Grey Knights. The first commission I ever did was Grey Knights, and it was to a guy who was a friend of mine, who qualified for No Retreat 5 with them. So they were painted to a pretty decent standard, let's be honest now. Got to No Retreat, played, got low mid-table finish. Never got to hear your opinion on the Pro Krill. We talked about it earlier on. I said I loved the paint, I hated the bottles. I've not going to replace most of my paint line with those paints. I'm not that much in love with them, and there's certainly some things that they do well and some things that they don't do so well. Such as their red is not as good as this, their black is not as good as Thramar Black. A few things like that, but nothing that I'm going to absolutely slate them over. Anyway, he finished low middle table. And then after a little while, he came back to the UK and decided he was going to sell them. He nearly sold them to Lawrence, and Lawrence and I had a chat about doing some extra work for him. And he said, look, I really love your work, but the cost is too much and I can't ask you to lower it because I think it's a very reasonable price, but here's what Siege would charge me, because I give so many business their way, they basically just do it for like cost and so on and so on. It was, it was one of those things. So he didn't sell them to Lawrence, and then there was a couple of other people he was going to sell them to, and he didn't. And he ended up selling them on eBay and then posting them to Belgium like a dickhead without insurance. Because he decided, I just want to save on cost. I want to maximize my profits out of this army so I can buy whatever the fucking heat was back then. I think it was Custodes. Not that Custodes were ever really good in 8th, but I think it was Custodes. And as a result, when they inevitably didn't turn up at their destination, and the person at the other end decided to obviously make a claim and said, look, well, they didn't fucking turn up and I paid 600 quid for this army, I want my money back. Said friend was out of pocket and out of luck. And I was really pissed off about it. So I always wanted to do a Grey Knight army, and when they were good in the meta, I was like, right, yes, let's do a Grey Knight army now. Now is the time to do it. Smash it out. Crush people on the battlefield. Be brilliant. Paid for someone to assemble them. I expected a turnaround time of about a month. I may or may not have given him them in January, and may or may not have received them in September. That long wait, that's what took it out of me, I think. No wind left in the sails. Two Sprues, that's awesome. Dark Knight says, well, I don't think I'll ever play with them, but I got a bunch of them from my cousin when he got out of the hobby, and a bunch more from a friend out of the bunch, so now I have an army of them. I started painting them last year, and now I have 6 tournaments and 3 tanks left to do. Awesome sauce. Awesome sauce. That's great, dude. I started planning the Death Watch. We're going to start off with Death Watch, and then we'll expand the army into being able to get essentially some additional additional marine units out of it, so we can play it as any kind of marine army. I guess some people do. I don't know why. I wouldn't. I have my desk. Cleaning your airbrush for me is a little bit like cleaning my desk, because that one area gets scrubbed with a toothbrush. This, by the way, is just some strong tone. Army paint strong tone, so it's a nice darker brown wash. It's going to give a decent contrast to our red. Really darken those shadows out. High contrast is what we're after on this, as always. I hate to say down, but it's name Iwati painful there. Yeah, that's literally it. I don't know what kind of customer complaints they must have gotten of, well, your airbrush is all great and all, but I was cleaning it and this rolled off my desk and now I have to buy a new one because bend it down to pick it up was too much like hard work, and I left it on the floor and then my wife hoovered it up. You know, I'm guessing that's the level of customer complaint they must have received many times in order for that to be a concern. Also, I know we didn't do any of the colours on there. We're basically going to blend each one of those up, treat it as its own thing when we do the highlights on that. All of that will be done off stream because that's a lot of tiny lines and that can just do one. Let's not flood that. But you saw how easy it was to get these little blends on there. They're not the super smoothest thing ever in the world. It doesn't matter. They're all on small areas. The biggest area we've got was this one. And you can see we've got dark to light. Really simply. Oh, easily a quid. That can't have cost much at all. Right, let's start busting out the silver. And I did say we're going to use this. Now, this is not designed for brushwork or whatsoever, but it's what we airbrushed the miniature with. This is the Metal Color Airbrush range from Vallejo. This is still the acrylic one. This isn't their alcohol-based metallic paint, which you can see a lot of on anyone that's got a lot of sanguinary guard normally. That's where it goes. Right. Oh, this is one of the best golds ever. And they're done. Yeah. Does come with an agitator built into it, and this is weirdly thin. So let me show you this on the palette. Let's just drop a little on there. That looks like Quicksilver. This is another one of those paints that you can flick paint everywhere with if you're not careful, so don't snap it shut. And what we're going to do is going to start picking up any areas of silver that we've got some of this onto. Now, all of this bit of trim around here will be gold to help bring that into focus against all the background of silver that we'll have here, so nothing on there needs to be done. On here, we got the claw. So let's grab some of this, and we're still using the older of these two Winsor & Newton brushes because we can afford to be a little bit rougher with it when we're hitting our highlights here. Now, this paint is crazily thin, but still has a lot of power and coverage to it. We used this on the Necrons for the edge highlights to their armor. It's a really good paint. It's definitely easier to control in the airbrush than it is with a brush, but it has its uses in this application as well. Now, I'm not going to go mad if we've got some brushed highlights to do on that sort of thing, which we're going to use with speed metal, I think. But here's where we're going to need to use it. Look at all of the areas of red, especially from the top down that we've got on Cawl from here, right? This is when we were coming in with the airbrush all around this area. Look specifically at this point. Well, this is a very thin metallic paint, and usually one of the ways that I tell people to clean up any airbrush overspray is by glazing it in. So surely if we just apply what's basically a silver glaze over the top of that, that'll get gone. And low. It's pretty much happening. It'll take a couple of coats. You can still see a difference, I'd assume, between that. Not so much on camera, but there's definitely a difference between here and here. And we've still got to wash all of this armor for a second time. I want to really darken that down. And that's why we're okay about that overspray. We've got loads of work left to do to all of these sections before we can even start thinking about highlights. And all of that work is going to cover up some of these little happy accidents. Tilts, how you doing, mate? Anyone made rich by GME stocks? No. There's a load of people in the Hellstorm chat that were going mad over it, and a load of people decided today was the day they were going to jump on. And so a few of them, at least earlier on, were at a loss because they decided to go in way too late, as they'd convinced themselves. I literally press some buttons and money appears, right? That's how it works, right? That's not how it works. In theory, in practice, new. Those cables black, I think. But I've been watching it for the last few days. Nearly jumped in, but to be honest, no. Javidson, absolutely right. Also, good to see you again, bro. How are you? You need to do it 2 days ago if you want to do it massively. And then some. Ideally, you needed to do this as soon as the post on Reddit started getting some traction. That was when you needed to do it. Doing well but working long hours, mate. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Are you like interning or what now? King Sanson, thank you for the follow. We are 4 away. I think 4 away. That's exactly what happened with my GW shares. Perfect time, but completely blind luck. Yep, I'm still waiting for mine to drop down a little bit. Sorry. I'm still waiting before I buy mine for the share price to drop down a little bit more. As soon as it gets to about 90 quid a share, then I'm in for a couple of grand. That's my redundancy money essentially being used as an investment. Because GW are going through a bit of a rough spot at the moment. Not being able to get stock, or not being able to produce stock, I should say, is hurting them. So they were at 97 a share or so last time I looked, just a couple of days ago. Oh, sorry to really get a share of GME today. Every broker blocked sales and allowed sales. People got scared and triggered the fall. Yeah. Trading contract now comes and goes, but average 10 hour a day, sometimes more. Shit, man. But that's all about paying your dues in the profession you've chosen, mate. And to be honest, not much will change as you progress through anyway, aside from instead of getting paid with a few zeros, you'll get paid with maybe several more zeros. So get used to it. If it's any consolation, brother, I work about 80 hours a week. So you'll be fine. You'll be fine. That's going to be gold. Don't worry about that. Right, let's go back up and hit that other shoulder pad again. Build that solid silver, or chrome rather, I should say. That's good. Right, and we've got a lot to do on things like this, so let's get through it. It's just one of those things. Just got to power up and just get on with it. Hey Cold, how you doing, bro? 76 a week, amateur, part-timer. Hi, I'm watching you from Italy. Oh yeah. How you doing, bro? So planning on how to paint my tanks for my fists and marines have red shoulder trims. Yeah, it's going to stand out too much of tanks. Any tips? Why would it stand out too much? Like, what's your equivalent of a shoulder pad to put a trim on the tank? You basically completely silver. or prime black. So prime black. Then we did 2 silvers, 1 of gunmetal, and then a top-down, much more Zenithal style pass using the chrome that we were using now. That was then followed by brush painting all the red on, and then coming back in and airbrushing that out. So we brush painted it to get right up to the edges of these, and you can see that we've done that to avoid a lot of the overspray on these parts of the miniature. We've still got some on these that protruded a little too much. We had to get those highlights down. And this is easy and quick to correct. The benefit of doing the silver first, despite knowing you've got to come in and correct it like this, is that most of it is still okay. Most of it's still done. So there's really not that much corrective work to do. And it's much, much, much quicker than if you had to paint all of this silver for the first time right now. So it's a tip that I think everyone should take on. I've done it a lot for painting things like custodian jet bikes, get all the silvers down, and then come in, airbrush everything else and just tidy up the silver. We did it on the Invicta Warsuit. We've done it on other dreadnoughts and things that have got a lot of silver elements to them. And it really, really works. Really, really works. End of the day, while I love painting, because I'm a commission artist, there's always a drive for efficiency. You absolutely have to be sure that what you're doing is the quickest way of doing it, so you can finish that mini, that commission, that army, whatever it might be, nice and fast and get on to the next one. If that's not happening, then you're losing money. You need to be working. The End Creep, how you doing? Currently looking for some smallish content creators from Europe to join a streamed D&D game. Would you be interested in something like that? That sounds great. I'll tell you what, join Discord and then send me a message on Discord. We'll see if we can work something out. But that could be fun. I haven't played D&D in a very long time. There's a Discord link just there. Send me a message, bro. I work a lot, so fitting something like that into my schedule is extremely difficult. Because when I'm not working, that's the very small amount of time that I go and do things like see my girlfriend. But we might be able to sort something out depending on times and commitment level and so on. Definitely worth having a chat about. Thanks for reaching out, by the way. That's really, really cool of you. I'm assuming the stream is under your account, so let's get a shout out for the End Creep if so. If not, let us know what account that'll be on and we'll give it a follow. Alright, nearly got all the bits with the first coat. We'll have to come back in with a second coat. Some of these areas obviously going to need a little bit more. This is all gold trim, so don't have to worry about that at all. Cheers for that follow, bro. Oh, you are nearly the 3,000th follower. We're 3 away. 3 followers away. Wait, is it 4? Hang on, let me refresh this, because I thought we were at 4 and now it's 3. It is 3. Now it's 2. The only remedy. Getting that follow. Thank you very much. It's a completely arbitrary, like, large number, like, woo moment. That's it. It's not that I don't care, but it's that I've specifically and purposely chosen to try not to worry about milestone goals and just let them happen. That being said, here's a milestone goal. Alright. Earlier on today, the End Creep, thank you very much. Oh, wow. How did you say that? Cthulhu Soleils. Maybe. Thank you for the follow. One more. And we hit 3K. And there it is. Zekbo, our 3,000th follower. Absolute superstar. I think, Zekbo, you deserve a prize. Seeing as you are our 3,000th follower, I think it's only fair that we give you some meeps. So that would be 3,000. I mean, if I just type in that's right, 30,000? Fuck it, 30,000. Bam. Oh, holy shit. And now Nick McDade is getting all... Have some gift subs. Thank you very much, bro. We've got Cruise Control, Pez85, Suicide Prinny, Zekbo, the guy that just hit that 3,000th membership, and SJ Tonino, sorry. There you go. All of you guys just been given a sub by the phenomenal Mr. Nick McDade. And Scrublord giving a sub to ZeroWin126 as well. Oh, and the hype train has begun. What is this? Utter craziness. Just trying to give Zero Win his meeps and I keep pressing the wrong button because I'm excited. How dumb is that? So, all of you guys that have just been given a subscription, exclamation point mystery and exclamation point win in the chat. Let's see. Oh god, and Toonie Sprues is doing it too. Uh-oh. We've got subs going out too. The N Creep, The Only Remedy, Uncle Touchy, 000. I mean, that's a username and a half. Amberden and Fludo, you guys all getting your sub on courtesy of Timmy Spruce. There we go. Thank you very, very much. All three of you that gave some subs away. Absolutely bosses, a lot of you. We've broken the hype train. We're already on level 4. Oh god, the hype train basically, I feel, pulls into the station at level 4 here. There's never a, like, there's 1, there's 2. It's just like, shoot, shoot, motherfucker! And bam. Level 4. Welsh Mini Painter, cheers for that follow. And A-Cold, it's like, I want to be part of the fun. I'm throwing some subs in as well. Sir Harbs a lot. Getting their meeps now. Oh god, there's what is going on? Okay. Okay. Glass Joe is like, well, yeah, it's not a party unless it's a Glass Joe party. Also, Glass Joe is a streamer now. Can we please get a shout out and some follows to Glass Joe in the chat? He's given subs to King Sanson, Potato, Push, Iceblades 06, and Mokim. I mean, 3,000 isn't really a big deal, right? I mean, it's not. That's just it. Maladeus coming in with his own sub now. 8 months. Next month you get a new badge, bro. Hey, what's up? I see an absolute magnificent community is blooming. Even Roy and I keep rocking, Jay. Sorry, just stroked out slightly. What the fuck? The fuck? What the fuck? Holy shit, Nick! Nick is now fully in control of the sub giveaway. He's just given away 25 gift subs. The whiskey jar is going mad down there. I'm gonna have to join it. Gumballina coming in there with a cheer as well when the bot finally gets a second to catch a breath. That will drop in there as well. Thank you very much, bro. We got Kirch 253, Javidson, Harold Van Horn, Crufu Soleil, Ulpio, Drip Master P, Preto Dan, This June 95, The Commissar Made Me Do It, Professor Palpatine, wait, hang on a minute. Wasn't he in Battlestar Galactica? Real Halsey, Valeric, 40k, Black Raven 92, Young Gandalf, Black Sheep UK. Then subs to Noise Created, Adorian 24, JT Stark 04, Thelsius Jack 3000, Richard Simmons Fan Club, Crotonhurst, Courgette, Lone and a Crown, and something random. You fucking madman. You utter fucking madman. What is this nonsense? Level 5 Hype Train is getting severely kicked in. 460%. Absolutely crushing it. The Commissar Made Me Do It is my favourite username. Mate, I think the Commissar Made You Do It. I can see it's already been love in the stream for Nick, but give the man some more. Utter weapon. Earlier on, he gave himself a mortal injury. He took a mortal wound while assembling Necrons. And now he's just like, nope. Gift subs for everybody. Holy shit. But I know what we need to do next month. What we need to do next month is find some other these gifts and some different guitar so we can try and randomize them a little bit. Need to find out if I can actually do that on Slobs. But that would be the next thing to do. Different cheers, different events, and so on would be cool. What a great time to join a stream. Ex-Adventurer, absolutely, bro. Welcome to the stream where literally we have more subs than viewers. All the time. We currently have 93 people watching the stream. Oh, holy shit. Glass Joe is not done. Chucking bits in the jar. 500 bits going in there. Nearly getting us to 500% on the hype train. Absolute stonks, mate. Legend. Thank you very much. Like I said, Glass Joe, fellow streamer. Give this guy a follow. Yeah, 93 people online, 400 subscribers. Because of you guys being bosses, throwing out those gift subs. It's mad. We've only once had 400 people in the stream. And that was because we got a raid of over 500 people. Fucking crazy. Toonie Sprues, appreciate it, bro. Really, really appreciate it. Nick, thank you again, my brother. God, I can't wait till we can all just hang out again. Because I reckon I owe you steak. I definitely owe you steak. But not steak with your steak. I mean, that's just greedy. And definitely not steak with your steak with your steak. It's too much. It's too much. Getting a Realmcraft order sorted at the moment. What's a good contrast for dark earth pigment over the arid earth base scan? Not sure what the arid earth base scatter is. My hotel room is actually too many sprues. That's because you're putting my Necrons together. Way too many sprues of Necrons for sure right now. But, you know. You'll manage. I've got faith in you, bro. Sandy, deserty kind of look. I've said it before, I really, really like track rust. Because it's a really nice reddish brown that just adds a lot of power to a base. So wait, technically Nick has just paid you to build your Necrons. No, I'm still paying him. He's not doing it for free. And I wouldn't let him either. Like that, I know how much of a pain in the ass it is. Like, he was always going to get paid. There's Glass Joe's cheer. And it takes Glass Joe to be an extreme boss. I'm trying to work out what your image is. It looks like chat text. The Johnsonator. How you doing, bro? How much is that? I've seen some of the robots. Well, you haven't seen all of the robots. I haven't seen all the robots because we've closely guarded the pics of the robots. And here's how the robots are gonna look. Tomorrow's YouTube video. Exclamation point. YouTube. Is this how to paint anime robot faces and broken glass? There you go. Anime robot faces and broken glass. Love it. We've got so much on these robots right now. The first video, which is up on Patreon last Friday, was how to get realistic chipping effects. The next video is this one on YouTube tomorrow, which was filmed after the next Patreon video, which is the one next Friday, which is all about getting these guys really, really grimy and dirty. You can see just how nasty they look. It's been a great, great project. Cawl is the last part of that project. And those robots were so much fun to paint. Doing the faces, which I painted yesterday, was hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. In the video, I've tried to put down as much about the thought process, about the planning stages as possible. So if anyone is starting a project, there's some good tips in there for you just as a general watch. You don't need to be painting crazy anime robot faces to watch that video. Though if you are deciding to paint anime robot faces that are all themed after Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, that's a good place to start. And I'll tell you what, after the video has gone live tomorrow... Oh no, that's not going to work. Huh. So there are 7 dwarves and 6 robots. The first person that can tell me which of the 7 dwarves didn't get chosen to have a face done, I'll give 3,000 meeps. We've had 3,000 followers, 3,000 meeps. Sneezy, fuck's sake. Put Holly right in there, straight away. Bam. He's got it. Well done, Playoffs Cracker. The meeps are yours. I didn't think someone would get it that fast. There you go. Spunky, believe it or not, was not in that version of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Clearly, you've watched the Brazzers version of Snow White, where she doesn't get woken up by a kiss. Yeah, Danny, you were very close behind. Order some stuff. Base about to get good. Well, better. Excellent, mate. Did you use the affiliate link and discount code? Because if you did, you could save some money. You're also supporting the stream and the giveaways we do. Nalindi! How you doing? What's Brazzers? I mean, you know. You know. Of course you did. That's because you're a boss. How you doing now? Let's get a shout out for this epic lady. Did you see the robot faces? it's just polite, you know. As far as I'm concerned, people like you are kind of OG level streamers for me, and so how can I not? You know? It'd be completely impossible to not do that. Actually, all that bit's going to be gold, but this bit's going to be silver. There we go. The bot has finally caught up with the hype train. Bam. There we go. We got a loot. What is that going to do with the train? How's everyone doing? Well, I'm doing great. The chat are in a mood of celebratory wonderfulness and fun because we've just hit, as a community, 3,000 subscribers. Sorry, 3,000 not subscribers. Don't even try. In fact, I think you just tried. 3,000 followers, which is pretty epic. Pretty epic. Next goal, 5K by our 3rd birthday. Let's try and get there, shall we? Joke banner, no. You deserve it. Oh, I'm not sure about that, but I'll take it as a positive. Thank you very much, bro. All I do is sit here, paint, and according to Sarah, who was looking through my VODs earlier on, looking at how I've used the powders and so on, because she's got something brewing in the works, which I'm kind of excited about, but I obviously can't tell you about. But she was going through the VODs, and she's like, every single one of your VODs that I get to, almost no matter what point of the video I'm at, you're talking about food. So all you've got to do, apparently, is paint to an average standard and talk food. That's it. Let's have a conversation all about cheese toasties, shall we? I don't know. Although, could go for a cheese toastie right now. Oh, God, did anyone see the picture in Discord of All Chris poutine the other day? Oh, man. Oh, man, did that poutine look good AF. I've had poutine that we've made over here, so it's not necessarily full on Canada land poutine, but whew, you don't know what poutine is. Your jimmies were rustled, mate. My jimmies got semi-erect. Like, that was some good looking poutine. So poutine is basically Canadian chips and gravy. Chips and gravy with cheese. Now, it's not just here's some cheddar that we've chopped up and thrown in my chips and gravy. It's not that. It's a very squeaky cheese curd, and it's a little bit like halloumi, but it's softer. Choir, thank you for the follow. And so, poutine is like the gourmet cheesy chips with gravy, and it's not. You don't have to just have that. You can have anything you want in it. Obviously, it's super easy, but the traditional one is very, very fried chips, so they're super, super crisp on the outside. A nice rich gravy, and then cheese curds, chewy, squeaky cheese curds. Chaos Kitsune 12, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the stream, much appreciated. And also Dave 3EG or David. It could have been either of those two, and I'm not sure which, but I think David is better, so we're going to go with that. And that's all gold. This bit's silver. This bit's silver. We're just maybe doing a lot of base coats on metallics today. Wait, hang on. Have we got another emote? It's like cottage cheese. Not like cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is very kind of watery at times. Oh, what a great series of emotes. Love it. Welcome to the stream, man. Have you ever had like cheese curds? So sort of fresh made cheese with, God almighty. Okay, so to make cheese is a bit of a process. You need some ideally unpasteurized milk, but it's really, really illegal to sell it. So you've got to make really, really good friends with a farmer. But if you can get hold of some, then oh yeah. And I totally didn't used to make this in a restaurant, because a restaurant definitely can't buy unpasteurized milk at all. But if you can get hold of it without, leaping over a farmer's fence and fondling one of his cows, then this is definitely the way. You take that and a couple of pints of it. You take some garlic and some bay leaves. The garlic, you peel it, just crush it with your hand. Get an extra bit of surface area on there to help some flavour come across, but nothing crazy. Chuck that and your bay leaves into your milk, and you get that to the temperature of blood, so 37 degrees centigrade. Once it hits that, you give it a good stir. You add in some rennet, which is, I think it's another dairy product. It comes from part of what happens in the dairy. I don't actually know. But you add rennet, give it a stir, and you leave it. How much is that Void Dragon commission you posted recently? So the Void Dragon was $350. Not including assembly. Just the painting. Assembly was about 25 quid, I think, from memory. So not cheap, but I mean, you've seen it. I would call that worth it. Enzyme from a cow's gut matter. Font of all knowledge right there. The End Creek, thank you very much. So once you add the rennet to it, you leave that to sit for 20 minutes or so. That'll generally give you enough time to get your curds forming. You take a knife and you just chop it up in the pan. And once you have a bit of a chop up in the pan, you put it in some cheesecloth and you suspend it over a bucket. You need to put it over a bucket because you're going to turn what feels like this much cheese into this much cheese, and the rest of that volume's water, because that will drain through the cheesecloth. So you basically tie things to various areas of your fridge and you've got your cheese set up. And then once that's finished draining, you've got fresh curd cheese, and it tastes amazing. It's super fresh, and obviously the Canadians have a way of doing that which makes it very, very chewy. But we did a meal at the restaurant I was working. It was fresh cheese curds on a heirloom tomato and basil salad that had, I made a fucking ice cream to go on this salad. I know it sounds weird, but what was the ice cream? Fuck, that's gonna bother me for a bit. What was this ice cream? It might have been bay leaf ice cream. No, it's gone. It's totally gone. But it was like a slightly savoury ice cream that obviously with room temperature heirloom tomatoes would sort of melt into that. A little bit of olive oil, plenty of seasoning, and some nice crispy fried shallot. Oh, it was banging. It was basil ice cream. Basil ice cream. That was it. That was a really, really good, like, early sort of summer, late spring starter. Right, let's grab our favorite gold. That's kind of dead. So our favorite gold from scale, Dwarven Gold. Different design to their pots this time. Now, scale paints, despite being crazily tight, are usually sealed. So you can see there's a little plastic cap to that. Just don't use your airbrush needle for this, by the way. There we go. Important Barracuda. Ooh, Barracuda. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for that follow. Do you have any advice for weathering white armor, by the way? Currently painting Space Marine for a friend and I'm struggling a bit. I like to use oils for my weathering. And while I'd love to tell you all about it, there is a Patreon video that's going up, not this Friday, but the Friday after, which is all about that weathering technique. If I flick back over to this shot, if you look at the armor on our anime face robot, you see it's dirty, it's greasy, it's grimy. All of those sorts of things are going to be in that video. Including a technique that the stream will not have seen me use before called dot filtering, which is a very, very cool scale modeler's technique. And that will almost certainly have your answers in. Another thing you can do is just use some powders. I use those a lot. Learn the hard way to seal in the bottle. Yeah, man. Been there. Squeeze in some silver like there's no tomorrow, and then BAM! Out comes that little nipple lid. And you're like, do have some weathering powders somewhere. On YouTube, YouTube, have a look at the tutorial I did called Boost Your Bases. It was a little while ago. If you look in the playlist under my YouTube, there it is, handy link. You will find this boost, how to boost your base, or simple steps to boost your bases, something like that. And in there it shows you how to use weathering powders on a miniature to help tie it into a base. For white armor, that could be quite useful. Right, pimp stick. Let's start there, and we're just going to start picking out some areas of the mini with gold. We're not going to go crazy, because what we don't want to do is create too much noise on the miniature. We went through all of that process of blending red just to eliminate noise. It's already quite late. This is just... The stream is disappearing today. What's going on? Golden Skull. That's super, super badass. Suppose I'd love to do a bone skull. We've got a few elements of bone on the model anyway. And having the gold here being darker than the bone, certainly obviously darker than that silver, it's going to really, really help out. Oh, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow, all I've got to do is attend a meeting for about 15 to 25 minutes, and then drive to the office and hand in all my shit. That's it. That's it. Then I can come home. I might treat myself to a celebratory cigar. Celebratory. Fucking hell, it sounds like Craig Charles having a stroke. I just can't say it now. Brilliant. A celebratory cigar. There we go. Nice coffee. Why has he got... What the fuck, Mr. Cawl? He's got a pressure gauge on his pimp stick, so he knows how far he's pressed it? What? Seriously, dude. What the fuck? That bit's silver. This bit can be gold. So it's all about balance. Trying to, you know, clearly so's that. Maybe it measures whatever he touches. It could be. It could be. Maybe it's not a pressure gauge. Maybe it's a radiation gauge. Maybe it's a gauge that just tests how spongy the ground is. I don't know. Half my necro gold gone. Oh, that hurts, bro. That hurts. End creep. If you got any questions, fire away on Discord, man. Always happy to help out. Obviously, because this is literally now my job, there are some things I might direct you to instead of necessarily answering the question, especially if it's a Patreon thing. But certainly, mate, if you're having a go at something and it's not working out, please message me. I'm never going to be the guy that just completely stiffs you on information. Like I don't want to put things behind a paywall, but I do also need to pay the rent. So, Manu Meth, thank you for the follow and welcome. Erection gauge, he is old. No, that's true. Nick, take care, bro. Have a good one. The work shut down for 2 weeks due to a few positive codes. I got some free hand of paint. Damn, well that sucks, but also, I mean, cool. So engage the amount of pressure he's applying on his opponent's neck. A-cold. That's the most gangster answer right there. It is a pimp stick, after all. He's got to keep that bottom bitch in line. Nobody knows what a bottom bitch is, then I strongly suggest you watch the South Park episode with Butter's kissing agency. In fact, I strongly suggest you watch that episode anyway, because Butters is my favourite South Park character. I love him. He's amazing. So you should all just go and watch that regardless. Butters bottom bitch. That's the one. Is it just called that? It might just be called that. Also, I love how on his little key ring here, he's got these massive ornate key. That's clearly an important key. This one's a super important key. Mechanicum head, pneumatic piston on it. This one's just a little Yale key for a fucking garage or something. I'm not sure why he feels he has to hold on to them all the time. But that's obviously just to let him in through the back door. Much like his pimp cane. Right, we've got a lot of trim to do. We may as well get on it. It's not going to do itself, is it? Part of me wanted to leave this silver, but if we do, we'll just lack some of that definition. It's a key to success. Maybe. No pockets. Gavin, you've nailed it, bro. He's got no pockets in his robe. So instead of just sewing some pockets, he grafted on some extra mechanical arms. Damn. That's the price you pay for being Lord of the Mechanicus, Master of Machines, and inventor of everything that flies, apart from the one thing that doesn't, where its predecessor sort of used to fly. I mean, I would have thought that he would have a fob key rather than a traditional key. That may be for the secret vault on Mars. It could be. To me, Butters peeked when he sat there playing with a cardboard cutout of himself and a Barbie doll. No. For me, the best Butters moment in all of South Park, aside from all of the Dr. Evil stuff, Professor Evil, rather. Aside from that, was the one where it's like, well, of course that's how you sit on the toilet. Where else did you put your chocolate milk? He sat backwards on the toilet using the tank as sort of hold the cistern to hold his comic book and his chocolate milk. You know, that for me was peak Butters. That was glorious. Oh, God, I love South Park. Just brilliant. Just brilliant. All the old stuff. The new stuff doesn't hold a candle to it, but the old stuff is fucking hilarious. I've watched maybe a single episode of South Park. What? Tokyo Raider 666 says, "What's up, Mohawk? You're the only recommendation that doesn't have their boobs out. Step up your game." Listen, bro. Unlike those free and easy ladies, I at least require someone to buy me a drink before I get the baps out. Alright, that's the way it goes. Where does he keep his loose change? In his loose change hands, of course. Well done, the end creep. Oh, God, you guys are great. You guys are so, so good. Brilliant stream chat tonight. Let's get some hype in the stream for the quality of the stream chat. That's what we're going to do. Especially his response in the courtroom when the ghost invented the toilet told me he was right. Yeah! The Scott Tenorman Must Die episode is brilliant. We are painting AdMech. This is Belisarius Call. This is the last part of an AdMech commission that we've done. Anyone know how much a pint is in the Midlands? I have a tip bar open. I drink whiskey, so a pint of whiskey is at least 70 quid. You know. Don't do it. Certainly no need to donate at all. As it says on the donate button, if you want to donate something, go and buy something for yourself on Element Games using the affiliate link. Then paint it, and then donate me a picture of your work in the whip gallery. That's what we need. So go buy toy soldiers. We all need more plastic crack anyway, right? That's the way. Or don't donate to me, donate to Dr. Rhino. He does a charity stream very frequently to aid a Rhino Foundation. Go and buy them some rhino snacks. I don't know what rhinos eat. Someone once told me that rhinos were quite fond of mints. I don't know. Once I get done figuring out how to play Space Wolves, I might do AdMech. Very different army. Space Wolves all about getting in your face and being super aggro on a tabletop, just smashing your head in, you know. Whereas AdMech, one of, if not the most powerful shooting army in the game. Very dangerous. They've got some solid combat threats, but fuck me, do they put out some firepower. Very, very scary army. I absolutely do not need more plastic crack, but fuck me, I'm gonna buy some. Yeah. Danny, you need to paint that goddamn diorama. Danny, in fact, right now, I'm saying it, you're not allowed to buy that Necron unless you've done some work on that diorama before Saturday. You just told me how you've got some time off work, so you got time to paint. Get some work done on that diorama. I just realised you should make a nightgown and call him Gorgeous George. Gorgeous George. The part we call Turkish be holding a set of car keys. The attending engine will be called Tommy, holding a heavy non-working pistol. The best thing about that is, every time the gallant dies, instead of shouting out, "Engine kill!" instead, you just lean forward and very seriously but quietly say, "We've lost Gorgeous George." Well, where'd you lose him then? It's not a packet of fucking peanuts, is he? It's not like a set of fucking car keys, is it? And of course you've got Turkish holding a set of car keys. I just managed to get the Dark Angels models from Dark Vengeance set for $82 US. Was super happy about it. And I got a letter telling me to go for jury duty. Oh my god. Ugh. We've lost. Gorgeous George. Oh, God. Oh my God. So me and the other half have got a movie night we're arranging for Saturday. So we're putting together some healthy-ish food, some snacks. We're gonna do chicken wings, but oven bake them, so a lot healthier than frying them. And she hasn't seen Snatch. Now I know what you're thinking. How could you possibly go out with somebody? And there are many reasons. Two very, very big reasons. You need to watch The Gentleman. I've seen it, mate. It's really good. Absolute brilliant movie. Just a shout heretic from the bench once the crime has been laid out. Shit. Summary execution. No. But yeah, might watch Snatch on Saturday. The only problem is I will talk all the way through the movie about the movie. That'd be a tough one. It's a quality film. If anyone in the stream has not seen it, I think it's either on Netflix or Amazon Prime, one of the two. And it is one of the best British movies of all time. Hands down, bar none. Do you like dogs? Dags. Do you like dags? Yeah. I like dogs. I like caravans more, though. Whiskey and Mohawk chat equals more plastic bought. Help. There's no help. There's no help for any of us. We're all doomed. We're all forced to live an existence where we have no mortgage. We just have plastic crack. You can have the old golden... Is it Patrick Moore? The monocle dude from Games Master / Sky at Night. Gold nails? No, that would look horrible. I don't think anything on that arm, so it's just armor trim on all of this. You think Chaos has got a lot of armor trim? You know nothing. The Dark Mechanicus. I mean, wait, the normal Mechanicus. How do you feel about Dark Angels having OBSEC bikes and Terminators? I think that's fucking great. Because you'll actually see some thematic Dark Angels armies. It won't be, here's the green wing I need to play the mission, and then the stuff I want to take because I'd rather play Raven Wing. It's, here's my nice Dark Angels army that I'm super happy with, super proud of. And I really, really like that. And whilst there's half of the internet crying over the fact that OBSEC Terminators with permanent transhuman are going to exist, we don't even know if that's still in the codex. It's likely to be, but it might be a 3+ in the codex, not a 4+. Might still be a 4+. It's hard as fuck. But it's really, really hard. It's one of the most powerful abilities. But it is kind of thematic. It's kind of thematic. The one that I like, though, is still the green wing. Still like the green one. Because they have their version of the super doctrine to fire their guns if they're tactical or assault in combat. but their ballistic skill becomes 5. Except they've probably still got +1 to hit, because they will have stood still that turn, because you can't make a move if you're in combat unless you fall back. So you've, by default, stayed still. Should be hitting on 4s. So half your shots will hit. And if you're still in the tactical doctrine by that point, you're going to do a significant sum of damage to whatever poor fucker you're in combat with. It's... all hell will break loose at that point. Get a couple of flamers in your squads, burn the heretic. Yeah, I like it. I think probably the way to play them, though, will be a mixture, as long as the teleport beacon strat still exists. And again, we don't know if that's going to happen or not. It might not. Certainly might not exist in its current form. The Ravenwing Jink strat has changed significantly. And I don't know if... like, I spotted this straight away, and I made comment about it excuse me, in the Hellstorm chat. And I had to convince several people that they were wrong and I was right. And that they didn't know the rules as well as they thought. The Jink strat is really, really strong now. So the old version in the previous 8th Ed Codex was when your opponent selects a unit of yours to shoot at, you use a stratagem, and that unit gets a 4-point vulnerable save. Then your opponent rolls some dice and they try and kill it. Now, you, the Dark Angels player, uses that strat when you allocate a wound to a unit. Okay? Which means that your opponent has gone, right, I'm going to fire, let's use Knights as an example, my thermal cannon at your repulsor. They go, alright, cool. They're thinking, I've got the strat. I might need this. Shit. Then I roll a 1 for the number of shots. And I failed a hit. And they're like, oh, I haven't had to use that strat. Now, I really like that. But there were people all over the chat arguing with me. Like, no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Like, I had to screenshot the fucking rulebook. This is one thing the app is really good at. There's screenshot elements of the rules. Highlight the text using your in-app, in-phone apps and editing tools and so on. Like, look, there you are. But I think that's fucking brilliant. I hope we see more stratagems like that. Certainly, those sorts of things just reduce the chances of you wasting your CP. And I'm a big fan of it. But let's treat all codexes equally with things like that. Is the thing, though, right? Let's not have. If you happen to be Power Armor and Loyalist, then here's some fun toys. Speaking of Power Armor and Loyalist, Dark Angels not always being seen as loyal. Did anyone notice that Deathwing Knights and there's another Terminator strat that basically are veterans of the Long War? Did anyone else see that? Oh, +1 to wound. That's good. Oh, and a different strat for combat. Oh, that's good. +1 to wound, is it? Yeah. That's my heresy. It is only Ravenwing vehicles, you're right. So you can't use it on things like your Ravenwing bikes, your Outriders, your ATVs, and all that jazz. But you're still going to want to use it on things like your Dark Shroud. You're quite possibly going to want to use it on things like planes. And there's less chance that you'll want to use it on a repulsor. Sorry, an impulsor. But if you're running a vehicle light list, then you could use a command point for a 4-up invuln on that and save yourself some points over the shield dome if you wanted to. I'm saying that's a very, very, very edge case because you probably wouldn't do that. and just take that 5 up rather than spending a CP, which can be used on much more valuable things. But if you absolutely need that impulsor to get somewhere, and you know you've kind of written that into your list building, this is what I'll be using a CP for, then that's kind of okay. End of the day, I do exactly the same thing with knights. You know, you pay a command point every turn for that rotate. Plus one is nasty, makes units like Mortarion more short-lived as you just pour saves on him and he falls over. Not that I use him don't use him as he isn't worth those 500 points. If you don't think he's worth 500 points, then I'm not sure we're on the same wavelength when it comes to that. I think he's absolutely worth every point that he costs. To the point where I would like to see my Crusaders that cost more points than Mortarion made either a lot more tougher or a lot more damaging because of him and his points value. I think he's definitely worth it. I'm not suggesting that he's worth it in every list. And I think there are some lists out there that would benefit from not having Mortarion in. But I think he's a very, very, very good buy for 500 points. I'd be happy with it. The way to kill him is with chip damage, because that's the way to deal with Death Guard, is vast quantities of 1 damage weaponry, with at least -1, if not -2. And there's a lot out there that's got that profile. It's not the most efficient way of dealing with things like Space Marines, though, which is the issue, and Space Marines are still going to be most of what you see in the meta, because there are, out of the Marine Codex, there's 6, 7, 8, 9 supplements? Is it 9 supplements? For me, it's not about Morty's damage output. This is where I think we're differing very much in our use of him. I don't need him to be super, super, super damaging, because he'll kill what he needs to. Like if I put him into one of my opponent's star units. Tokyo Raider, thanks for the follow. I thought you already were. But cheers, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, he'll still go into something like a tank or a character that's not of the same kind of level as him and rip it a new one. He'll still absolutely destroy whatever he touches. But it's about the amount of fucking over your opponent that he does. So for me, he gets right up close and turns off auras. And he goes, that's it. None of you guys can use that captain over there. None of you Tau can use savior protocols, because that's an aura. See that chaplain mumbling some shit? Not anymore. Told him to shut up. So yeah, there's a lot of Blood Angel Space Wolves. Oh yeah, that's right, because the Dark Angels book isn't out yet. Yes, it is 10. Yeah. Plus, however many other random chapter tactics you want to choose, but those are the supplements that you've got. And I would obviously absolutely love it to see every other army treated the same way and be given that sort of depth of rules, but that's not on the cards for possibly ever. But that is what it is. But I would take Morty, I'd throw him at my opponent and just piss them off. And basically dare them to shoot Mortarion. Like, go on, do it, he's there. If you don't kill him this turn, he's going to come and kill that Marine Captain next turn. And they'll have to put in probably more than 2,000 points worth of firepower to kill him in shooting. And if they get in combat with him, then you're probably not going to die to the first thing they put in on you. So you've got an interrupt potential to really limit some damage output, and Mortarion just sticks around for longer than you want him to on average. If you're the opponent, obviously for the Death Guard player, he sticks around for potentially not as long as you want him to, but he's just a pain, and he's one of those definitely annoying things. Whilst he's not putting out as much damage as, say, Magnus, when Magnus goes Super Saiyan on the Psychic, I think that's good. I like the fact that he's there as an absolute beat stick character. Pinbot 5000 getting his sub in. Absolute superstar. Thank you very much, dude. I think for Chaos, they do separate codices for each of the 4 main factions, and then make Codex Chaos Space Marines, but then probably make Black Legion a little bit more special. So you'd end up with like 5 full-fledged Codex Space Marine chapters, Black Legion being one of those, and then the 4 that you would normally assume, and then have all of the other ones in there. So if you're Black Legion, here's a load of extra stuff. If you choose a faction that exists but has no representation on the table to get that official rep, what faction would that be? Do you mean something like Squats, for instance, that still exists because there's a couple in Necromunda but don't exist in 40k, but exist in the universe? Or do you mean something like, say, Gene Stealer Cult, which because currently they're fucking terrible, you don't see on the tabletop very much? How are you phrasing the question? But yeah, Morty, 500 points. Well, 470 points to be exact. I think he's a bargain. Like Dark Admech. Okay, cool. I'd love to see Dark Admech in the game. Dark Mechanicus would be super, super cool. The only issue I've got with Dark Mechanicus being in the 41st Millennium on the tabletop is the models would either have to be so fucking out there that painting them and assembling them is hell, or I don't think it would work. Renegade Guard, that would be so sick. They did have Renegades and Heretics in 6th and 7th. It was a Forge World book, and that was one of the first units that got nerfed in 8th edition. They used to have a sorcerer that was something like 40 points or 60 points. I forgot what it was called. Yeah, I can't remember. But you cast Smite. And because there was no rule of 3, you would have 2 Supreme Command detachments with 5 of these in each. And then your battalion with your normal characters and the fuckload of cultists and all that sort of thing. And these guys would just walk up behind cultists and go, right, smite, 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 and you'd rinse whatever's in front of you. It was disgraceful. That was one of the first things that ever got the proper nerf back. I think they were 40 points to begin with, and they went up to 80, and then the rule of 3 came in, and it was mostly because of those and the other abuse that came with it. But yeah, Traitor Guard being back would be awesome. Certainly, I'd rather that than a lot of other armies. Like, squats, as far as I'm concerned, should be done. No more squats. I'd equally, though, quite like to see Tau get a bit more alien allies, like the Guevesa and stuff, which is the guard but for Tau. Because I think their faction needs completely reworking. I don't think they just need a new marker light system. I think they need a new book written from somebody's perspective that isn't Tau should play the same way they've played for 4 editions. Tau should not play the same way they've played for 4 editions. You can't win a game with a static shooting army unless it's no fun for your opponent. Freyner, thanks for the follow. Expand the old Kroot Mercenaries Night Army. I had Codex Kroot that was in the Citadel Journal all that time ago. Great Narlock and the Shapers and stuff. They were super, super cool. You know, I want to do more of that gold, but it's going to look shit, I'm going to leave that for now. We'll have a bit more of a think about it. Basically, this big crest, if I do it all silver, it's going to just blend into the background, do nothing. I think I actually need to go darker instead of brighter there. So we'll have a look at it after the wash on the metals. However, that is almost all the gold trim on this piece of Belisarius Cawl. Once we've done this, we'll be going into the whip. So exclamation point whip or exclamation point Discord. Come and join in the fun over there. We've got over 500 people on our Discord now. We've got a really cool hobby community over there. In fact, the community has grown so much that today we set up some moderators, which are the same guys that moderate our Twitch stream. Mile Tim, cheers for the follow and welcome. This is a cool place to hang out, but if you go to the work in progress gallery and upload up to 3 photos of things that you've been working on, then we'll have a look at them on stream. I'll give you some feedback, some constructive comments and critique, and we can see what you've been up to. I think that's all the gold bits. Yep. We've got to do something with that big old mohawk that he's got. Back hawk. Fin. You know. To be honest, Des, yes, you could definitely just use that and make substitute models. I've seen some really, really cool guard armies. One guy did a like redemptionist crusade, and he used a load of the sisters, like the old models, not the new plastic, the Repentia, as some Katachan guard with close combat weapons. So yeah, loads of fun stuff like that. Right, so tonight has been what feels like not a lot of work done, but this is just the grind to begin getting through. Your servo turret's looking good though, dude. Makes a difference, doesn't it? Just having that little bit of sloping ground coming up to the miniature like that, especially on those massive plates that have been nailed into the ground, you know? So we've done a little bit of blending on red. So you can see we've gone from dark to light. The camera's just about picking it up enough. We showed you guys how to do quick and easy blends on stuff without it taking forever. So super, super simple way of hitting those blends. Like here's the biggest one that we've had to do. So we can see we've gone from a nice dark red here, relatively smoothly round to a much brighter red at the very, very top. So we started off with that. We blocked in a load of silver because that needed to be done before we could get to our gold areas. We're now starting to get those down and making Cawl look a bit more like a boss. You can see the fact we're keeping a very limited color palette. We're getting that differentiation in between the areas that we've got there, and we're keeping him looking cool and easy to see and not just a great big fucking mess. So that's no good whatsoever. We don't want that to happen. Coming up tomorrow is one more time the YouTube video on how to paint anime robot faces and how to paint broken glass effects. So this was the Admech robots. We've themed them after 6 of the 7 dwarves. There you've got Dopey with the supremely cracked glass on his face there. You've got Happy, Grumpy, and Doc. Doc with the pharmacy logo, had to be. So that's going up at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Also tomorrow morning, the guide on how to do the realistic chipping effects that you can see on that robot there will be up on Patreon as a written guide. So all of you weekly readers, going to get your guide tomorrow as always. Next week is going to be how to make your stuff look properly grimy. And I don't know what we're doing after that. It might be, because I've already filmed next week's content, is to film past this bit. We had to film past that to do this bit. So we've done all of that ready for that bit, but we've done this bit beforehand because it looked better on YouTube. We might do how to paint Blood Angels for YouTube because we've got an enormous Blood Angels commission to do coming next week. I want to get Cawl finished this week, then start the Blood Angles. So it might be how to paint Blood Angels over on Patreon. Sorry, on YouTube. Could be a fun one. Right, let's get to it though. It is whip time. Whippity whip whip whip. Let's see what we got. So that is pre-stream. This is in-stream. Ogrekin. Oh, dude. You've got a Rhino Marine. Dr. Rhino, if you're here, look at this. This is super sick. Horny. Brilliant. Very cool, man. Look at how crisp that is. I don't want to call a Marine. Brilliant. Oh, we already got a redeem raid from Malev. Remember, if you've got 3,000 channel points, you can't guide the raid. So Malev has got a vote. Looking cool, man. I'd love to see one of these with some paint on, though. Only made it in time for the whip. Damn. Well, Nightmare. If you follow me on Instagram and put notifications on every single time we go live, notification. Well, Crazy Yank, then you can do it several times. No Instagram? What about Twitter? We've got Twitter and Facebook. Got all the social medias, despite the fact I hate social media. It's a business thing, so... gotta do it. I do quite like Instagram, though. I've been doing some reposing of death marks. They looked boring and doing all the same pose. This one, he's a sniper. He's in a sniper pose. I like this. Only Discord and Twitch. Well, on Twitch, you should get a notification when we go live. And that's 5 minutes before the show starts. So make sure you've got notifications turned on. If you guys haven't, it's one of those things that you can do. I very much hate spam. So I won't do posts in Discord. I know a lot of streamers that have like notifications in Discord every time they go live and all that. So we don't. So you don't have to worry about it. Insane day. Oh damn, man, that is a late day. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. Look after yourself. Looking good, mate. Nano working on a little project trying to create a scene/story, light basing, then filed away mold lines. Any advice on how to really make this look good? I'd start by putting some more paint on it. That would start. And then I'm going to stop being a sarcastic prick. Damn. So you've got a very, very battered Marine. And a dead Chaos Dude. I mean, skill level dependent. You're here and then with this. Cool, nice one, Ragnarok. Skill level dependent, because this is clearly a battlefield scene. One of the things you could do is different light sources, either end or either side. So you could have it lit as if it's like an explosion on one side, and there's warm. Like red and yellow light sources coming through. On the other side, it's nighttime, so there's cold blue moonlight kind of colors coming in. That sort of thing always looks super impressive, but it is fuck hard to do because you've got to get that balance, right? Otherwise, things that you could do. Make sure that you've got a good contrast in colour between your Marine and the dead guy. So either have one as warm colours, one as cold colours, one as super bright, one as super dark, maybe just as much as like one is orange, one is purple. Something along those sorts of lines. Part of the helmet on the floor in front of the plasma pistol. I can't see it in that shot. Still can't quite make it out, if I'm honest, dude. But I will definitely take your word for it. But yeah, those are the things that I'd go with. Is create that sense of contrast between the good and the bad. You know, you've got this very classic fight against evil, but it's yours now to create your own thing on it. I like what you've done so far, though. A great job on that helmet. Now I can see the face is there as well. So for the face, you've got to get a cut in there and some a little bit of blood running and at least bruising. You know, that sort of thing. This could look super, super cool. I'm very excited about this. That's what I went with to begin with. Drunk Mystic, finish a Soul Reaper. No, you're not a fan of basic bases, but felt plain and simple. Did the guy justice. Hey, you've got some tufts on there, and admittedly you've dry rushed it rather than use pigments, but it's done. It's based, right? That's the thing. Hey, you put evil in those letters. That's a Chaos Marine. He's definitely evil. No worries, dude. Looking forward to seeing it. This looks great, man. Honestly, this looks great. This is your first time using the airbrush on a small miniature, and you fucking nailed it. I think the ghosts could do with a little bit more to them. They're very flat. I appreciate you want to keep them bright, because ghosts... maybe do something with the eyes. Just to help enunciate those little parts of the mini. But I think you've done a fantastic job here, dude. Really, really cool. Well done. Actually, speaking of flat, that scythe could do with something else. Trista Bites, thank you for the follow and welcome. Let's zoom in on that scythe. Yeah, that... You've done Heavy Metal Star highlights, and they're a bit fat in places. You can see, in fact, there that where the crease is that goes around that, you've just dropped in off of it a little bit. Take your base color, paint that line back out, and then give it another go. You've gone for a non-metallic metal. You've done quite well with it down here. It's kind of rough and ready on the face, but it's there. You know, it's doing okay. And then on the side, it's just... it looks like you phoned it in comparison to the rest. So I would definitely look at that again. Give it another go. But the rest of the mini, dude, that's banging. Absolutely banging. Trista Friend, well, I'll tell you what, we don't follow her, but we do now. There you go. Streams Games, I guess. Star Wars Lego. Awesome. Ex-Adventurer. Not done much to this guy, but getting better with the trousers. Also, did some scenery. Trousers look good, dude. Yeah, that was the feedback we gave you beforehand. Streams lots of stuff. Good. Hi, Trista. Fisky. Yeah, Fisky, I think. It was no dry brush this time. Good man. No dry brush for life. Ever again. That's it, you're done on the dry brushing. Very bright photos, difficult to see, but he's looking good. Here's some scenery. Yeah, this looks alright. It's dark, it's moody, it's a bit nasty looking. Perfect 40k. Can't complain at that. Right, Tokyo Rider. Sorry, I don't have any 40k army on my laptop, just AOS. It's all good, dude. Nice. Great shot. I love the shadow behind it. That's really well done. Fisky, evening. I hope I got your name right. Morbistor. Morbistor? I think. But yes, very, very nice shot, mate. Difficult to see some of the details on the model, but a very artistic shot. Nice little bit of work on the base as well, though. Good stuff. Crazy Ant. My pile of shame is getting so small that I'm going to have to get new stuff soon. Crazy. Crazy. Okay, here we go. More Necrons, more Eradicators, and some of those Ophidian Destroyers. I can't wait to be painting mine very, very soon. Looking to change up to pigments, but how would you use them to create a base from the Realm of Death? I assume the same way I would do it normally, but I would just choose darker or colder pigment. I don't really know much about Age of Sigmar, but I assume from the name, the Realm of Death is like purgatory, not hell. So everything's muted and faded into the background. There's no real sense of life or feeling or emotion to it. And so I'd go completely monochrome on the base. I'd find black pigment, lots of bluey greens. Okay, well there you go. You've answered the question. Still grow a black. Get yourself some blue pigments, and you may not find them at Royal Crafts right now, but you will soon enough. Probably. Who knows? And so, you know, you take those and you play with them until you get the feeling that you want. Like Limbo, that's kind of how I'd see it. Yeah. Alright, MC, here we go. Here's that base. Getting a Tech Marine on it now. Looking good, dude. I like how you've literally started it ground up from this mini. That's nice. Those are some tight-ass chevrons. Is it me or are the guns a little bit V'd out? It's not just Nagash's undead. Okay, cool. Nice, mate. Very nice. Not long to go before this is fully assembled, right? It's the Magnus. Oh, okay. Nice. Forrest Whitaker guns. Yes, exactly. Right, Metal Burner. Oh, yeah. He does look like he's wearing Adidas tracksuits. It's the red stripe down the front. But, what a boy. What a boy. I love these things. I really, really do. They're the dumbest thing ever in all of 40k, but I do love them. I'd probably find a way of darkening some of that metal down a little bit more. I know a lot of people go in with blue, and I can see some areas where you've put a wash on there, and it's kind of just crept past the edges a little bit. You see just here on the arm, there's a bit of that going on. So in those areas, you're looking to just sort of subtract that back with some of your silver. Actually, no, scratch that. I wouldn't bother making it darker at all. I just realised it's mostly the fact it's a white background that's making it look so bright. Love to see it on the tabletop. OG Baby carries it, Ogren carrying the Guardsman. No. Absolutely not. Petted engines and mortifiers raise you for dumbest things in 40k. Coming soon, Nundums. Oh man, I've not heard that. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Nundums. Oh god. I love it. I love it. Best name so far. Okay, we've gone deep on here. Try and stick to 3 picks if you can, mate, just so everyone gets their shot at the whip. Looking good though, man. What are you going to do for the bases? Because they add so much to a miniature. Nice though. Good old strike team with some halberds. I like the halberds. Good option. Nundum is 100% what needs to be called from now on. Yep. Nundum. Jaeger, absolutely not. No, definitely not. You guys have got the ability to remove posts if something happens. In fact, this is all you need to do. I can't envisage you guys ever needing to remove posts. But I trust you all. You know, you've got that discretion if you need it. The source. We like the doinks, he says. This looks like it's been through hell. Very, very cool. So it screams Alpha Legion. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be. Because obviously we haven't got the double X or anything like that on his shoulder. But that's brilliant, dude. This is the kind of weathering that we've just created some guides for. So having the realistic chipping, having that gritty weathering that's there, that'll be next week's guide. But it's there. This is really, really sick, dude. Solid work. Really like the pose though as well. That for me is the key part of this. And it looks like you've taken the chest piece from Redemptor Dreadthorn and put it in there as part of the canopy as well, which I really like. So yeah, top marks, mate. Top marks. Trista Bite says I'm going to be building my first Gunpla in some. Going to be building my first Gunpla in at some point. Gundam Unicorn Psycho Frame version. I have no idea what any of that meant. I'd love to get into Gunpla because I love giant robots, which is why I play Knights. But that's a rabbit hole I don't need to be going down as far as the wallet being emptied eternally goes. Dr. Rhino, with what I will only assume is Davy Crockett the Jedi. I mean, that's my guess. And then some camo painted eliminators. I like that. It's someone from Star Wars Rebels. Okay, cool. Giant robot kit, glowing red in a frame, might make it into Deadpool X Gundam. Oh man, that'd be sick. Danny, here's the thing, right? If I get a perfect grade Gundam, then I will eventually build it. Probably not though. And then before I'm halfway painted, I'll have 5 more, and I'll never build them. And that's why we're not going to get into Gunpla, because it's a massager metal burner. I think you'll find, you know. And these are incursors, cool. I get totally confused with all of the marine sneaky dudes. I just do. Finish this up Sunday. Blood for the Blood God. Whoa. That looks pretty banging, dude. Though if that's a fat cap at the end, I'd trim that the fuck off. That's a bit much. Been to the Gundam base, large shop in Tokyo, and purposely did not take my wallet. Yeah, probably for the best. Glass Joe, working on the Orcs. Nice, dude. Good scheme. Looks like you've been doing a little bit of metal work. Trying to work out what the most recent thing painted was. Skin's nice. I'd probably take one more highlight on that, though. And go right up to the sort of edges, the definition of those muscle striations. And just do very, very small highlights. That's why I have so many posts came in an unfortunate time. Brilliant. Boneless ribeye. Oh, nice one, Victim. Lure the fastest? Not quite. Not quite. It's not the way it works. But also, Glass Joe, streamer here on Twitch, do give him a follow if you haven't already. Glass Joe 336. If you get a shout out from him, that'd be grand. 2 minutes brew. So my OCD kicked in and now I'm going to paint the inside of the tanks. What? Oh, God, why? Why? Don't do that. There's no point. Glue the fucking thing shut. It's a Nundum. Nundum. Mobile Suit Cerritos. That's fucking ace. That's so ace. Oh, God, I wish I'd been the person that came up with this. This is amazing. Could anyone else work out what's going on with their fucking legs, though? Because I cannot imagine running in that. Because your entire leg and foot is in the thigh of that armor plate. That armored suit. And I bet it's got better articulation than you have. So, the cloth looks too static. It is very static. To be honest, mate, part of that is the paint job. Things like that don't work so well with Games Workshop's heavy metal style painting. Notice how they've used a lot of blue in their black, but unfortunately there's still too much there. And then you've got, if you look at the top half of the Mini, you've got dark blue that's somewhat black, but if you look at the leg, the thigh plates are almost luminous blue. It's check the memes thread. Oh, here we go. Kind of has Necrons now. You've got at least another hour's worth of work before you can buy some Necrons. There you go. One more hour and then you can buy some Necrons. It's alright, Danny, don't you worry. Memes. Oh, yes, this. Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was quite good. Yeah, solid work. Solid work. Right. Speaking of solid work, thank you, all of you, for putting some stuff in the whip. It's my favourite part of the show. I love doing that. So, tonight we did a lot on Cawl. He was a lot of fun. I'm going to try and get loads done on this guy tomorrow. After I finish work forever for the man. Yes. Only got a few hours, and that's it. What colour would you paint the backpack? Oh, and your orc? That's the wrong. Looking at the memes, that's not right. Obviously, you've got a lot of metallic stuff there. You got some rockets, but I like going super cartoony with orc stuff. So for the rockets, I do like Bullet Bill style faces and things like that. I think that's just definitely the way. Do some like shark faces, that kind of thing, red and white, cartoony. But then for everything else, I'd kind of go either dark browns, khakis, maybe make it the same color as his pants, that sort of thing. But for the rockets, go mad. Just fucking go nuts on it, because why not? Totally why not? Also, guys, don't forget, 10 a.m. tomorrow over on !YouTube, the guide on painting the anime robot faces and how to paint broken glass effects. We were just talking about anime robots. Here's how to paint anime robot effects and faces, all modelled on 6 of the 7 dwarfs, because why the fuck not? Hope you guys enjoy that. Now, though, it is time to go find somebody else to stream into. Now, earlier on, we did have a vote for Malev. Malev's on. Have we got any other? Can you just say ooh? I'm guessing ooh. Got to do Sneezy with a big green splat on the inside of the visor. No, couldn't do Sneezy. Sneezy had to be done. Kawaii, then a wink. What? So you got Monument Hobbies as an option. So you got us 1 and 1 for Monument or Malev. don't mind either one, to be honest. They're both on about the same number of viewers at the moment as well. So yeah. Let's have the chat decide. Got another one for Monument. So Monument's in the lead. Oh, we got Flickster. He's doing something cool. Oh damn, he is doing something cool. That does look fucking cool. Des, you voted for Malev earlier on. That was your... Oh wait, it wasn't you. You got 2 votes for Malev. You know what? I think that's a 3rd vote for Malev. It's gonna have to be Malev, but tell you what, Flickster's doing some fucking great work there. Looks like Malev just got a raid as well because he just sharpened viewers. Let's go see one of my favorite streamers, one of the most chilled out guys on Twitch. When we get there, he's gonna be throwing ninja stars. Let's be throwing meats back at him. It's got to be done. Spam the chat full of emotes. Huge thank you to all of you and the subs that we gifted tonight to celebrate our 3,000 followers milestone. Absolute legends. I'll see you guys on Saturday morning, 11 a.m. Peace out.